Listen closely, my friends. Most people wake music up every morning and make the same mistake. They give the first moments music of their day to the world before they have even taken control of themselves. They reach for music, their phone, consume other people's opinions, worry about yesterday, music, and then wonder why the entire day feels like something happening to them. But what if the music, first hour of your morning, is quietly deciding the person you become by night? The Stoics' music understood something most people never learn. Your day is not one when everything goes your way. It is one when you remain in command of yourself regardless, music, of what happens. Marcus Aurelius began his music days by preparing his mind for difficulty, reminding himself that, music, he would meet difficult, selfish, and unreasonable people. And he, music, chose beforehand how he would respond. That is not just a morning routine. That is mental armor. Imagine two people waking up at music the same time. One immediately gives his attention to notifications, comparison, noise, and distraction. The other, music, spends the first moments building discipline, clarifying his priorities, and preparing himself for whatever the day brings. Same morning, same 24, music, hours, completely different destiny. The difference is not luck. It is what music they do before the world gets a chance to shape them. In this video, we are going through 10 Stoic morning secrets that, music, build a stronger life. Practices designed to make your mornings more intentional, your mind more disciplined, music, and your actions more powerful. These are not empty motivational habits. They are principles rooted in the music, Stoic idea that master the beginning of your day, and you begin to master yourself. And one of these morning music secrets may completely change the way you start tomorrow. Secret 1: Win your mind before music, you face the world. The first Stoic morning secret is simple, but most people fail at every music single day. Do not let the world speak to your mind before you have spoken to yourself. The moment you open your eyes, your mind is at music, its most impressionable. If the first thing you consume is a notification, a message, bad news, or someone, music, else's life, you have already handed your attention away before your feet even touch the floor. A Stoic music does the opposite. He creates a small space between waking up and reacting because that space is where music, command begins. Marcus Aurelius understood this principle deeply. Before music, facing the chaos of Rome, the demands of leadership, and the difficult music, people around him, he repeatedly reminded himself of the kind of person he intended to be. He did not, music, wait for the day to test his character before deciding how he would respond. He prepared the mind before the music battle arrived. Your morning should work the same way. Before the world gives you problems, music, decide what kind of person will face them. Think of your mind like a fortress. If you leave music, the gates open at sunrise, every distraction can walk straight inside. But if you stand at the gate, music, first and decide what deserves your attention, you begin the day from music, strength instead of reaction. This does not require an hour of meditation or some complicated music routine. For the first few minutes, simply sit in silence, music. Breathe and ask yourself, what matters today? What is within my control? And what kind of person do I want to be when things go wrong? That music, small practice changes something powerful. Instead of waking up asking, what is happening to me today? You begin asking, music, how will I meet whatever happens today? That is the Stoic difference. You cannot, music, control the weather, other people, delays, criticism, or unexpected problems. But you can prepare the mind that will encounter them. And when you win that first music battle for your attention every morning, you stop beginning your day as a spectator, music, and start beginning it as the person in command. Secret 2: Meet the day before it meets you. Every morning brings a silent negotiation. The world asks for your attention, music, before it asks for your strength. Messages, deadlines, opinions, problems, and expectations begin knocking at the music door of your mind. And if you answer every knock immediately, you spend the entire day, music, reacting instead of living deliberately. The Stoics recognized music, this danger. They understood that a person who cannot choose where his attention, music, goes will eventually become controlled by whatever demands it the loudest. Seneca, music, warned about the value of time because once a moment is surrendered, it cannot be reclaimed. Your morning is not merely another block of time. It is the opening move of the music, entire day. If you begin with chaos, you carry chaos forward. If you begin music with intention, you create a mental direction that can survive the noise. This is why the Stoic does music, not wake up and immediately ask, "What does everyone need from me?" He asks, "What deserves the best of me today?" Take someone music like Steve Jobs, who was known for simplifying his priorities and repeatedly returning to what mattered most rather than allowing every possible option to dictate his attention. The lesson is not to copy his exact routine. The deeper lesson is this. Great output music requires selective attention. You cannot give your strongest energy to everything because then nothing receives your strongest music energy. Your morning is the perfect time to decide what will receive it. So before opening social media, answering messages, or allowing the outside world to fill your music head, take 5 minutes and write down 3 things. The one task that matters most, the one behavior you refuse to compromise, music, and the one distraction you will deliberately ignore. That is your morning music command. You are not trying to control the entire day. You are choosing your direction before circumstances, music, choose it for you. Because a strong life is rarely destroyed by one massive decision. It is slowly shaped by hundreds of tiny moments when you either direct, music, your attention or surrender it. Every morning gives you another music, one of those moments. And when you learn to meet the day with intention before the day meets you with demands, you stop chasing the world and start making the music world fit around your priorities. Secret 3. Choose your first battle. Before the world gives you problems, your own mind will give you excuses. The alarm music rings, your body asks for another few minutes. Your bed feels comfortable and a quiet voice says, "You can start tomorrow." This looks, music, insignificant. But the Stoics would see something deeper. The first music decision of your morning is already training your character. Every time you obey the weaker impulse, you make it easier to obey the next one. Epictetus taught that character music is built through repeated choices, not through occasional moments of inspiration. Music, you don't become disciplined because you suddenly feel motivated one morning. You become music disciplined because you repeatedly do what you decided was right, especially music, when your feelings argue against it. The morning is your first training ground. Before you conquer a difficult task, you learn whether you can keep music, a promise you made to yourself. Think about an athlete preparing for a major competition. The victory you see on the final day was not created, music, on the final day. It was built during hundreds of ordinary mornings when nobody music was watching, when comfort was available, and when quitting would have been easy. The same principle applies music to your life. Every morning is a vote for the person you are becoming. One disciplined morning, music, may feel small, but thousands of those mornings can completely change, music, your identity. So, choose one non-negotiable action and complete it before you allow yourself unnecessary, music, comfort. Get out of bed when you said you would. Make your music. Bed, drink water, exercise, read a few pages, sit in silence. It doesn't matter which action you choose as much as this. Make a promise, then keep it. You are teaching music, your mind, that your word has authority. And once you win that first battle, something changes. You, music, carry a different energy into the rest of the day. Not because you accomplished, music, something enormous, but because you prove something to yourself. When I decide, music, I act. That is how discipline is forged. Not in dramatic moments, but in the quiet mornings when nobody is watching and comfort is begging, music, you to stay exactly where you are. Secret 4. Give your mind, music, a reason to rise. Most people Wake up and immediately ask, "What do I have to do today?" The Stoic asks music a deeper question. What am I here to become today? That difference matters. When your morning begins with music, a list of obligations, you move through the day trying to survive it. But when music begins with purpose, even ordinary actions become part of music, something larger. You are no longer simply completing tasks. You are training your character. Marcus Aurelius, music, repeatedly returned to the idea of duty. He reminded music himself that human beings are made to contribute, to act according to reason, and to perform the work that belongs, music, to them. He didn't need every morning to feel exciting. He needed music, a reason to stand up and do what was required. That is a much stronger source of motivation than waiting for music, inspiration. Think about someone who wakes up at 5 a.m. every morning simply because the internet told him successful music, people do it. He may survive the routine for a few weeks, but eventually the alarm becomes an enemy. Now compare him with someone who wakes up early because he has a mission he genuinely, music, cares about. Building a business, becoming stronger for his family, mastering a craft, or becoming music, the person he knows he is capable of becoming. The hour is the same. The meaning is completely different. Before you begin your day, music, take a moment and define one sentence. Today, I will become stronger by. Maybe it is finishing the work you keep avoiding. Maybe it music is controlling your temper. Maybe it is training your body. Maybe it music is having the difficult conversation you've been postponing. Give the music day a purpose that demands something from your character. Then your morning becomes music more than preparation. It becomes a declaration of who you intend music to be. Because when your reason is strong enough, discipline becomes music, easier to understand. You don't wake up early because waking up early makes you special. You wake up because music, something inside you matters more than comfort. And once you music, discover that reason, the morning stops feeling like an interruption to music, your sleep, and starts becoming the first opportunity of the day to prove that music, your purpose is stronger than your excuses. Secret 5. Guard the first hour like your music, life depends on it. The first hour of your morning is not ordinary music time. It is the moment when your mind is still quiet enough, music, to be shaped. Yet most people immediately fill that space with noise. They open social media, read messages, watch music, other people's lives, compare their progress, and absorb problems that have nothing to do with their music own mission. Before they have even decided what they want from the day, the world has already decided music, what they will think about. The Stoics understood that attention is a form of power. What repeatedly music enters your mind eventually influences what you desire, what you fear, and what you consider important. Marcus Aurelius constantly warned himself against being pulled around music by impressions and external distractions. He understood that the mind becomes like the things it repeatedly, music, focuses upon. If you feed it noise every morning, don't be surprised when your thoughts become noisy. Think about a person who wakes up and spends 30 minutes scrolling through other people's achievements. One person is traveling. Another music is making money. Another looks happier. Another is already ahead. Nothing has happened, music, to this person physically. But mentally the day has already begun, music, with comparison, insecurity and distraction. Now imagine replacing music, those 30 minutes with silence, movement, reading, planning, music, or reflection. Same 30 minutes, completely, music, different mental direction. Create a protected first hour, not necessarily a music, perfect hour, but an intentional one. Keep your phone away. Avoid unnecessary music, notifications. Move your body. Drink water. Read music, something that strengthens your thinking. Write down your priorities. Sit quietly. And let your mind, music, become yours again before handing it over to everyone else. You are not avoiding music, the world. You are preparing yourself to enter it without being controlled by it. And this is the deeper lesson. The strongest people don't necessarily have more time, music, than you. They protect their attention better than you do. Your morning is the gate to your music mind. Guard it carefully because whatever you allow through music, that gate will eventually influence the person you become. When you win the first hour, you don't magically win the entire day, but you give yourself music. A powerful advantage. You begin the day as the author of your attention, not the victim of everyone else's demands. Secret 6. Meet yourself in silence, music, before the world names you. There is a version of you that exists before notifications, opinions, music, responsibilities, and other people's expectations enter your mind. Most people never meet that version. They wake, music, up and immediately become whoever the world requires them to be. The Stoic morning begins differently. Before you respond to the music world, you return to yourself. Silence is not empty time. It is where you discover whether your thoughts are actually yours. Marcus Aurelius, music, repeatedly turned inward, reminding himself to return to reason rather than allowing external, music, events to dictate his state of mind. He understood that the mind can become crowded, music, without becoming wise. You can consume hundreds of opinions before music. Breakfast and still have no idea what you believe. You can know what everyone else is doing and still have no direction for yourself. Silence removes the crowd long enough for your own judgment, music, to become audible. Imagine a person waking up and immediately opening 5 different apps. Within 10 minutes, they have absorbed someone else's success, someone else's anger, someone else's music, political argument, someone's vacation, and someone's crisis. Their own priorities, music, haven't even had a chance to speak. Now imagine starting the music morning with 10 quiet minutes. No phone, no music, no conversation, just sitting, breathing, music, and asking, "What deserves my attention today?" That small music silence can reveal more than an hour of consuming information. Use those first quiet minutes to examine yourself. What are you avoiding? Music, what are you grateful for? Where are you wasting your energy? What music would make you respect yourself more tonight? And most importantly, what is music within your control today? You don't need complicated journaling or a perfect meditation music routine. You need enough silence to stop running from your own thoughts, music, and enough honesty to look at them without excuses. Because if you cannot be alone with your own mind for a few minutes, the world will always be music, able to distract you from yourself. The Stoic doesn't begin the morning by searching for more noise. He creates music, enough silence to hear his own principles. And once you know what you stand for before the day begins, criticism, temptation, pressure, and distraction, music, have a much harder time deciding who you become. Secret 7. Prepare for the battle before it begins. Most people begin, music, their morning hoping the day will be easy. They hope nobody annoys them, nothing goes wrong, plans stay, music, on schedule, and everyone behaves the way they want. Then one, music, unexpected problem appears, and their entire mood collapses. The Stoic does something radically different. Before the day begins, music, he mentally prepares for the possibility that it will not go according to plan. Music, this idea runs deep through Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius would remind himself, music, that he would encounter difficult, selfish, impatient, and unreasonable people. He wasn't predicting misery. He was removing surprise. When you already understand that music, obstacles are part of life, an obstacle doesn't feel like an attack on your existence. You expected music, resistance. So resistance doesn't have the power to destroy your peace. Imagine you have an important meeting tomorrow morning. Instead of simply hoping everything music goes perfectly, mentally rehearse the possibilities. The meeting could be delayed. Music, someone could criticize your idea. Your presentation could have a problem. Someone might misunderstand music you. Now ask yourself, if that happens, how will I respond? You are music, not creating negativity. You are training your response before pressure arrives. Seneca used a similar Stoic practice, music, known as premeditatio malorum, the contemplation of possible difficulties. The purpose was not to live in fear, but to become less controlled by it. When you occasionally imagine adversity while you are calm, you build familiarity with situations that might otherwise overwhelm you. You are teaching your mind that difficulty is not an emergency. It is something you are capable of meeting. So tomorrow morning, spend a few minutes asking, what could challenge my patience today? What could tempt me to lose control? And who do I want to be when it happens? Then choose your response in advance. Maybe you will remain silent instead of reacting. Maybe you will breathe before answering. Maybe you will continue working when the plan changes. You are not predicting the future. You are preparing your character for it. Because the person who expects life, to be perfect is fragile. But the person who expects challenges and prepares his mind for them becomes difficult, to shake. Don't begin your morning hoping the day won't test you. Begin knowing that if it does, you will be ready. Secret 8. Do one thing that makes you stronger. A powerful morning is not created by doing 20 different habits. It is created by doing one difficult thing that your weaker self, would rather avoid. Most people begin their day by choosing comfort. More sleep, more scrolling, more entertainment, more excuses. The Stoic deliberately introduces a small amount of resistance, because he understands something profound. The mind becomes stronger when it, repeatedly proves that comfort is not its master. Seneca understood the value of voluntary, discomfort. The purpose was never to punish yourself, or make life miserable. It was to remind yourself that, you can live without constantly obeying comfort. A cold shower, a hard workout, walking instead of taking the easy option, finishing a difficult task before entertainment. These things are small, but psychologically they send a powerful message. I decide what I do. My impulses, do not decide for me. Think about an athlete. Nobody becomes physically powerful by training only when the body feels comfortable. The muscle grows because it encounters resistance. Your character works the same way. Every morning gives you an opportunity to place one controlled resistance between yourself and comfort. You don't need to destroy yourself. You need to practice choosing what strengthens you over what merely pleases you. So, choose one morning challenge that is difficult, but safe and repeatable. Exercise when you don't feel like it. Finish your hardest task, before checking entertainment. Take a cold shower if it's appropriate for you. Read instead of scrolling. Sit in silence instead of reaching for stimulation. The specific challenge matters less than the principle. Do something every morning that proves you can command yourself because eventually that discipline follows you outside the morning. The person who learns to resist comfort at 7 a.m. becomes more capable of resisting anger, at noon, distraction in the afternoon, and temptation at night. One small victory, over yourself becomes evidence for the next one. And that is how a morning routine, stops being a routine and becomes character training. Secret 9. Decide who you will be before the world decides for you. Every morning, life gives you hundreds of opportunities to become reactive. Someone sends an irritating message. A plan changes. Someone speaks to you disrespectfully. Work becomes overwhelming. Your mood shifts. And suddenly your behavior is, being decided by whatever happened 5 minutes ago. The Stoic prepares for this before it happens. He doesn't wait for pressure to reveal his character. He decides his character before pressure arrives. Marcus Aurelius, repeatedly reminded himself of the kind of people he might encounter, and the kind of person he would choose to remain. That is a profound morning practice. Pre-decide your standards. Decide that you will not lose your temper over small things. Decide, music, that criticism will not control your mood. Decide that you will finish what you start. Decide that you, music, will speak with respect even when someone else doesn't. When the situation arrives, you don't have, music, to invent your character under pressure. You simply follow the standard you already chose. Think about a soldier before entering a battlefield. He doesn't wait until the music first attack to decide whether he is courageous. His training has already answered that question. Your morning can, music, become the same kind of preparation. Before the day begins, ask yourself, what situation is most likely, music, to test me today? Maybe it's an impatient boss, a difficult family member, temptation, procrastination, or your own anger. Then decide, music, exactly how you want to respond when that moment comes. This is where Stoicism becomes practical. You are not, music, trying to control every event. You are rehearsing the response that belongs to you. If, music, someone provokes you, you pause. If something goes wrong, music, you adapt. If you feel like quitting, you remember your commitment. If someone judges you, music, you return to your values. The event may be unexpected, but your principles, music, don't have to be. And after enough mornings of doing this, something powerful, music, happens. Your character becomes predictable to you. You begin trusting, music, yourself because you've seen yourself keep your standards under pressure. That confidence is different from ordinary motivation. Music, it isn't based on believing the day will go perfectly. It comes from knowing that whatever the day, music, brings, you have already decided who you will be when it arrives. Secret 10. End the morning with a promise. Music you cannot break. The strongest morning does not end with motivation. It ends with a decision. Most people, music, wake up inspired, make ambitious plans, and feel powerful for a few minutes. But by afternoon, music, comfort, distraction, and unexpected problems have already taken control. The Stoic understands, music, that motivation is temporary. What lasts is the promise you make to yourself, music, and the standard you refuse to abandon. Before you finish your morning routine, choose one commitment that defines, music, the day. It could be, today I will finish the work I keep, music, avoiding. Today I will control my reaction, music, instead of giving my anger control, or simply today, music, I will do what I said I would do. The promise doesn't need to be dramatic. In fact, the smaller and more specific it is, the harder it becomes to, music, hide behind excuses. Your goal is not to impress yourself. Your goal, music, is to prove that your words still mean something when your feelings change. Marcus Aurelius, music, didn't need every morning to feel inspired before fulfilling his responsibilities. Music, his philosophy was built around duty. Doing what the moment, music, required because it was right, not because it was comfortable. That is the difference between motivation and, music, discipline. Motivation asks, do I feel like doing this? Discipline asks, music, did I decide to do this? Once you've answered the second question, your mood no longer gets the final vote. Think about, music, how powerful that becomes over months. One morning you keep your promise. The next, music, morning you keep it again. Then another difficult day comes and you still keep it. Slowly, something changes beneath, music, the surface. You're no longer trying to convince yourself that you're disciplined. Music, you have evidence. Your confidence begins coming from your own history, from all those quiet moments, music, when you chose your commitment over your comfort. So, tomorrow morning, music, don't create a 100 promises. Choose one. Write it down. Say it clearly. Then carry it with you into the day. When temptation, music, comes, remember what you decided while your mind was calm. When difficulty, music, comes, remember the standard you chose before the pressure arrived. Because the morning doesn't make you a winner simply because you wake up early. It makes you a winner when you use those first moments to become the kind of person, music, who keeps his word for the rest of the day. A morning routine will not magically, music, transform your life. Waking up early will not make you disciplined. Drinking water, exercising, reading or writing your music goals will not make you a winner by themselves. The transformation happens when you use the morning to train the person who must carry you, music, through the rest of the day. Your morning is not about completing habits. It is about building character. Music, Marcus Aurelius understood that. Every day was another opportunity to practice virtue. Epictetus, music, taught that discipline begins with controlling what belongs to you. Seneca reminded us that time is our, music, most valuable possession. Put those ideas together, and the message becomes simple. Don't give the first moments of your life away, music, carelessly. Before the world demands your attention, give yourself a moment to music, decide what deserves it. You don't need a perfect morning. You need a purposeful one. Some days you will wake up tired. Some mornings will be chaotic. You, music, will miss a workout, sleep longer than planned, or fail to complete music, your routine. That doesn't mean you failed. The Stoic doesn't worship the routine. He returns music to the principle. Fall off for a morning, return the next. Lose focus, regain it. Music, make a mistake, correct it. Remember the 10 secrets. Protect your first moments. Choose your first battle. Give yourself, music, a reason to rise. Guard your attention. Create silence. Prepare for, music, adversity. Practice discomfort. Decide your character. And keep the promise you make to yourself. Music, none of these are designed to make your life easier. They are designed to make you stronger than the excuses, music, that once controlled you. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, before you check the world, before you allow someone else's music, priorities to enter your mind, stop for a moment, breathe, look at the day in front of you, music, and ask yourself, who am I going to be today? Then act, music, according to that answer. Because the morning doesn't make you a winner by itself. You become a music winner when you repeatedly use the morning to become stronger, more disciplined, more focused, and more in control of yourself. Win the first battle, protect your mind, music. Keep your word, and eventually you'll look back and realize that the life you wanted wasn't transformed in one dramatic moment. It was built quietly, one morning, music, at a time.